If you feel like your life has turned into one big therapy schedule, PT on Mondays, OT on Tuesdays, speech squeezed in on Fridays, with sensory sessions, behavior work, diet, supplements, and more in between, you're not alone. And I want you to hear this loud and clear. You're not failing your child. You're not missing some secret formula. The truth is, you might actually be doing too much. In the race to help your child heal and thrive, it's easy to keep adding more therapies, more supplements, more protocols, without realizing their nervous system may be already overwhelmed. And when the brain and the body are locked in stress mode, when the vagus nerve, the autonomic nervous system, and that neurospinal foundation are out of balance, even the best intentioned interventions can backfire. That's why so many parents come to us confused and exhausted, wondering why their child is plateauing or even sliding backwards despite doing everything right. The problem isn't that you haven't found the perfect program. It's that healing doesn't start with piling on more. It starts by calming the chaos, restoring regulation, and rebuilding from the foundation up. On average, a child on the autism spectrum is enrolled in 3 to 5 therapies every week. Alongside that, parents report their child takes anywhere from 5 to 20 different supplements a day. And most families have tried multiple restrictive diets in hopes of finding relief. When you add it all up, the ABA speech, OT, PT, special education sessions, the pills, the powders, the detox regimens, the meal plans, many families are juggling 15 to 30 or more daily health to-dos. That's an enormous load for any child and family to carry. And while each of these efforts is well-intentioned, when they're stacked on top of an already dysregulated nervous system, they can easily shift from helpful to overwhelming. That's why understanding where to start and in what order makes all the difference. Healing interventions overload happens when multiple good things are layered onto a stressed nervous system. So instead of building momentum, those therapies and supports begin to compete, and the child's system just can't keep up. It's like asking a computer with too many tabs open to run another big program. Eventually it slows to a crawl or it crashes. Or imagine a circuit board that's already miswired and overloaded. If you keep plugging in more, even good things, the system can blow a fuse. That's why so many kids with nervous system dysregulation end up with sleep struggles, sensory overload, meltdowns, and even seizures or motor tics when too many interventions happen at once. Here's the science behind why this happens. When a child's nervous system is stuck in stress mode, what we call sympathetic dominance, it's like a phone running on a 1% battery. Everything shifts to survival, not growth. In that state, the body robs energy in a very specific order. So first, the gut suffers with motility, absorption, and elimination issues that leave kids uncomfortable and unable to get the most out of therapy. Next, the motor system begins to falter, showing up as delays, poor coordination, toe walking, W-sitting, and weak core strength. Even speech challenges are rooted in neuromotor dysfunction. Finally, the immune system breaks down. Chronic infections, repeated antibiotics, asthma, and even autoimmune issues pile up, and kids are either too sick to attend therapy or too depleted to gain from it. This is why so many families spend years perfecting diets and investing in supplements, yet their child still struggles. The real problem isn't nutrition, it's neurology. So what's the solution? It's not to abandon therapy, but to put it in the right order. Healing has a sequence. When that sequence is followed, something incredible happens. Therapies stop competing and they start multiplying each other's effects. The first step is to build the foundation through high-frequency, neurologically focused chiropractic care. Now, this phase takes a less is more approach, often pausing other major interventions to calm and restore the nervous system. Now, once that foundation is stronger, we begin reintroducing support for the core four systems: sleep, gut, immune, and motor. The motor system is usually the best place to start because once it's regulated, therapies like PT, OT, and speech finally have the traction they need. Often primitive reflexes integrate naturally during this phase, and as the neuromotor system improves, the gut and immune systems can finally function and heal more effectively. By the time we reach phase 3, that's when families see the breakthroughs. When the nervous system's regulated and the foundation's in place, therapies that once felt frustrating or even ineffective suddenly produce incredible progress. Kids catch up, they regulate, they grow, and families finally feel like all the time and the energy they've poured in is paying off. So how do you know if your child is dysregulated and overloaded? Start with a gut check. Look honestly at their progress. Do you feel like they're moving forward, or are they stuck, maybe even slipping backwards? Trust your instincts. The next step is measuring what's really going on inside the nervous system. That's where insight scans come in. Now, these scans give us a clear picture of subluxation patterns, vagus nerve dysfunction, and overall overload. They show us if a child's system is simply too exhausted to add more, and for parents, that knowledge brings peace. Because when you can see the nervous system beginning to regulate on scans, even before the outward signs catch up, you know true healing is underway. If what we've shared today feels like your story, if you're running from therapy to therapy, giving the supplements, following the diets, and still watching your child struggle, please know there's another way forward. Healing interventions overload doesn't have to define your family's journey. When you start with the nervous system, when you restore regulation and rebuild from the foundation up, everything else finally begins to click into place. That's where real, lasting breakthroughs happen. If you'd like to learn more about this approach, about healing interventions overload, the insight scans that we use, and how sequencing care in the right order can transform your child's progress, we'd love to connect with you. You can click the link in our bio, you can drop us a comment below, or you can send us a direct message, and our team will be here to guide you every step of the way.